Hi guys, Jean here, back with my first video of 2019. Now you may have some of your New Year's resolutions, whether it be to be more healthy, be more productive, or stay organized, or maybe you got sent a new MacBook for Christmas. Well, in this video I'm going to be talking about 8 free Mac apps that you can download that I believe will help you out with that. So let's go ahead and get started. Now first, before we begin, I just want to say that in no way, shape, or form am I being sponsored or contacted by any of these companies that make these apps to say any of them or promote them in any way, shape, or form. I'm just highlighting these apps just simply because I personally use them and I think that they're super helpful. Also, these apps are not ranked in any order of importance because everyone has their own preferences. But in case you want to download any of these apps, I'll go ahead and leave links in the description down below. I've broken up the apps into a free version as well as the ones that you have to pay for. So this video will cover the free Mac apps because who doesn't like free? And I'll release another video later that will cover the best Mac apps that have to be bought. The first app that I'm going to highlight is Station, and Station markets themselves as one app to help rule them all. And I actually kind of believe that because they do help a lot with window management. So if you have a browser and you have a lot of tabs that are constantly open, like Messenger, Trello, and other apps like that, then you can have all of those opened on Station like on a dedicated app. And it makes it easier to just go through and find rather than having them all open on your browser. And then if you're just sifting through a whole bunch of tabs, then it's kind of just like a waste of time. So being that you can use it to replace some of the desktop apps, I also believe that it can help you save some memory on your MacBook. So instead of having to download Slack, you can just open it up as a tab in Station. There's so many apps that you can use with Station as well, such as Gmail, Google Drive, the whole Google suite. You can have them as separate tabs. Then there's Messenger, other messaging chat platforms like Slack and other things like that. Then there's also MailChimp, Trello, and just so many more. So they have a store where you can go and choose and search through what they have and just add them to your Station. Now there are some apps though that it doesn't really work so well in because you lose some of the functionality, like Evernote. That being the perfect segment to number 2 on the list, which is Evernote. So I also made a video on the best essential productivity apps for my iPhone, which was the college edition, but I highlighted Evernote in that. If you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and link an iCard right here. But basically the reason why I love Evernote is that it's just so easy to manage all of your apps. It's also not only available on Mac and Apple platforms, you can have it on your PC and your Windows phone. Sorry, nobody uses a Windows phone anymore. Or on your Android. So you can have all of your notes sync across, but one of the things that I talked about in my other video was that Evernote only limits you to sign into 2 devices with 1 account. So the way that I found around that is that if you have multiple emails, say just 2 Gmails or something, they could be 2 different ones, but you create accounts for those through Evernote and then you just share your notebooks so that all of your notes sync. And that's basically the same. You just have to make sure that all of the notes that you want on both of the devices, or all 4, or however many devices you have, all are having shared notebooks. Another reason why I love the Evernote desktop version is the ability to take screenshots. There are pre-programmed little presets once you click on the little helper that allow you to either take the full screenshot of everything on your screen, and there's also the selective one. So if you do decide to use the full screen one and you have dual monitors, it will automatically take a screenshot of both of your monitors, but they won't be separate images. They'll be just one big like panorama basically. So it's up to you if you like to do that, but I personally use it for the selective screenshot. I know that there's the Command Shift 5 or something like that for the selective screenshots that are just basically on the Mac already, but the only issue with that I have is that it's automatically saved to your desktop. So I'm one of those that likes to have a clean desktop with not a lot of screenshots on it. I'll have like maybe one folder that I use. And I know that they've added stacks to help manage all of your screenshots, but I still just prefer to not have them all on my desktop. On to app number 3, and that is Flux. You've probably heard of this before, and if you aren't already using it, you probably should. You want to make sure that there's not a lot of blue light hitting your eyes when you're about to go to sleep or something like that, because there's been studies that if you have too much blue light, that it makes it harder and more difficult to fall asleep. So to help out with that, Flux helps dim or yellow or orange your screen. So it basically installs a small little item in your menu bar, and you can set preferences to when you want it to switch, the dimness, the brightness during certain hours. Like if you don't like it super yellow like me, then you can just add a slight tinge of yellow. And you can also set it to your location, so it can automatically change the time it switches based off of the sunset and sunrise. Jumping into app number 4. Now I know we were talking about New Year's resolutions and health, but this is more so the health of your computer for this app. So SMC Fan Control is the 4th app that I'm highlighting, and that basically helps maintain the fan compared to the temperature that your computer is running at. So computers actually run at a pretty high temperature. So I'm in the US, so we use Fahrenheit. And the first time I had SMC Fan Control, I saw that my computer was at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was like, wow, that's really hot. But that's just typically what I've seen my computer to be at. The lowest is like around 109, but max is 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So to help out with that, sometimes the fans don't turn on by themselves, so you can manually set those fan speeds to help with cooling down your computer, especially if you start hearing that noise where the fans are actually working and working really hard. Like if you're video editing or programming a super heavy, like strenuous program, then you should probably use this to help like ease your computer a little bit so it's not overheating too much, especially since MacBooks are made out of aluminum. So the nice thing about SMC Fan Control is that you can have presets that you would set by yourself that basically tells the fan how high or how low you want it to rotate. So I have a MacBook Pro 15-inch, and with that it has 2 fans, so a left and a right fan, and it'll let you choose the rotation of both of them. I generally like to set them as equal because I don't know why you would want one to be faster than the other. So the 5th app that I'm highlighting is LastPass. This is the free version that I'm talking about because there is another premium version that you can get that's $2 a month, but for most people I believe that the free version is just suitable. It's enough. You don't really need to have all of the extra abilities. And basically you would download the application and then set up an account, and it'll have a file vault for you where it'll help you keep all of your passwords in check, and it'll have just one master password that'll let you access all of your other passwords. Now, that being said, you don't want to use the same master password as any of the other applications that you're using, but make sure that it is something that you'll be able to remember, though LastPass does have an ability to help you reset your password. The good thing about LastPass though is that you can add it to basically any browser, and it'll help you manage all your passwords. So if it sees that you're signing into a website for the first time, it'll ask you if you want to save that password. The 6th app that I'm highlighting is called Dropbox. Now everyone's heard of Dropbox, and it's basically just a file manager that syncs to the cloud. And the reason why I like it so much is because of the ability to set your preferences on the folders that you would like to sync. Now, that's because Box doesn't really have that ability to do so, so with Dropbox you do. And with that, you just go to your settings, your preferences, and then it has a section where it'll let you choose what folders that you want to sync to your Mac. So you can just check the ones that you do want to sync, and it'll sync those, and then if you don't want to sync them, then you just uncheck them, and then it won't delete them off of your Dropbox. It'll just remove them from your local instance on your Mac. The only downside to Dropbox that I would say is that once you first sign up, they only give you 2 gigabytes which is kind of like nothing, especially if you're working with really big files, because I know Google Drive gives you 15, Box gives you 10. So if you do sign up though with somebody's referral link, you do get an extra 500 megabytes, which is half of a gig. So if you get other people to sign up using your referral link after that, you can get an additional 500 megabytes per person that signs up to 16 gigabytes. So you can max out at a certain rate, but this way you'll be able to get more. So if you do need a link to sign up for Dropbox, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description down below that you can use. That's my referral code. The 7th app is ItzyCal. It's a calendar app that basically hides in your menu bar, and this makes it easy if you don't want to have the calendar app open all the time. With this, you can see the whole month view, and it makes it easier rather than having to keep your calendar app open because it helps with window management. And wrapping it up with app number 8, and that is Brave. Now, it is a web browser, and maybe some of you guys have heard of it, maybe some of you guys have not. I didn't hear about it until the end of last year, and I was primarily a Chrome and Firefox power user, but now I've switched over to Brave. They do a little bit better job of managing all of the ads that show up, and it can show you what amount of time it has helped you save by using Brave. Also, I think the logo is actually pretty cool because it's a lion, an orange lion. But with Brave, you also have the ability to use any of the extensions that are in Chrome because it's kind of built on top of Chrome. Kind of like how Opera is built on top of Firefox, it uses those extensions as its library of extensions. That's what Brave does. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on the 8 free Mac apps. If you guys like the video, feel free to smash that thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel for further content. It's kind of like how Opera is built on top of Firefox.